Good evening. I'm Leland Vittert. On the program tonight, while the country waits for a Supreme Court decision on abortion, we'll show you the case that affects every school kid in America. Speaking of abortion, the domestic terror group you have never heard of but need to know about, why President Biden and Democrats ignore promises of violence this summer from a group that has firebombed half a dozen pregnancy centers. Plus, damning new evidence in the Uvalde school shooting, how police disregarded their training and let kids die for 74 minutes. What needs to happen during spring break to keep your kids safe next fall, and how Congress might answer sports fans' prayers tomorrow. They could finally expose the truth about the NFL's most hated owner. But first, on point tonight, we all know about the separation of church and state, but that is not what the First Amendment actually says. It reads, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. And today, the Supreme Court said parents could use government education vouchers at religious schools. It changes the rules not only for schools, but for all sorts of government programs. The ruling comes out of a case in Maine, where the state offered $11,000 vouchers for rural high school students. According to the Maine law, they could use those vouchers at nearby public schools, even if the kids had to drive an hour or so, or at private non-religious schools. Parents sued to be able to send their kids to religious schools, and they won. There is nothing neutral about Maine's program. That's Chief Justice John Roberts writing. The state pays for tuition for certain students at private schools so long as they are not religious. That is discrimination against religion. It comes as only 81% of Americans say they believe in God. That's a record low since Gallup started asking the question. But about the same percentage, 83% of parents, say school choice is now more important than ever. As you might imagine, the teachers' unions hate the ruling. That says a lot in and of itself. Mae Davis is with us. She works with the Independent Women's Forum that filed a brief in the Maine case. There's a limited number of high school students in Maine. Why is this so important for parents no matter where they live?
Well, I think you can already see that this is going to affect maybe a provision in the Build Back Better bill, if it ever passes, which had a similar provision about religious daycares. So I do think that this case will extend to beyond Maine, although it's just really not all that surprising. Even Maine itself used to allow parents to take their kids to religious schools and use school funds. It's only been somewhat recently, the ACLU asked Maine to pull back on that program, and then they did. So Maine, in Maine now, you can take money, a parent can take money from the state and go wherever. They can go to a boarding school, private school, they can go to a public school elsewhere, they can, now go to a religious school. So I don't think you're gonna see a lot of difference immediately, but as people try and pass different laws preventing parents from using the money in religious ways, religious daycares, religious schools, I think you'll see some effect there.
Sonia Sotomayor writing, this court continues to dismantle the wall of separation between church and state that the founders fought to build. Is there supposed to be a separation between church and state, or is there simply not supposed to be a government-mandated religion?
So I think neutrality is the right word. So separation of church and state doesn't appear in the Constitution. It's a metaphor. It's a metaphor that Thomas Jefferson used. So it's helpful because he would know, but it is still a metaphor. What the Constitution prohibits is an establishment of religion. And for 20 years now, we've known that when parents take money and they themselves choose to spend it on religious education, that's not an establishment of religion. So that's not a new part of this case. The question is whether the second part of the First Amendment, which guarantees the free exercise of religion, allows the government to say, hey, you can use this money for everything except for religion. And what today's case says is no. Free exercise of religion means you can't punish people for being religious. You can't punish parents for wanting to send their kids to a religious school. And religious
school, religious daycare, religious after school program and the like. This is the ACLU. Maine's policy to avoid government-funded religious education is rooted in our nation's historical commitment to the separation of church and state. Today's decision, like others in recent years, undermines that vital protection by forcing taxpayers to support religious instruction and indoctrination. It is the opposite of true religious freedom and a betrayal of our country's founding principles. That's from the ACLU. Why are groups like the ACLU, we'll get to teachers' unions in a minute, so upset about being able to take your voucher wherever you want? What's threatening about that?
Well, it's funny because a lot of parents want to go to religious schools right now who aren't even particularly religious. They just don't like drag reading hour or critical race theory, and that they think that there's an escape from that in religious schools. And they're largely right. And I think that's what the ACLU doesn't like, that you don't have state control over curriculum. You don't have a lot of the control that the ACLU now has, where you do have exposure to LGBT issues. You do have more of a progressive education. So this is going to be allowing more students to have a more conservative education, which is not helpful to the ACLU's political cause.
Just from a purely political standpoint for Republicans, and you are obviously among them, you worked in the Trump White House, parents are the new swing voters. 83% of parents say school choice has become more important to them than in their past. 82% of parents say they'd vote for a candidate outside their party if they like their education agenda. Is this an opportunity in the midterms in the same way it was for Glenn Youngkin in November?
Absolutely. So President Biden has been very, very hostile to school choice. He came out and said, I'm not a fan of charter schools. And charter schools aren't even religious schools. They're basically just public schools. So I think that parents who are really looking for an alternative, we saw it with mask policies, with parents trying to go to schools that were just open that they could go to. I think now a lot of the culture wars, anybody who follows libs of TikTok on Twitter can see a different teacher a day, sort of saying that they indoctrinate children. So I do think that this ruling and this issue is definitely going to be a winner for Republicans in the midterms.
You think about beliefs in God by Americans, all-time low at 81%. Do Republicans run a risk of making this too much about religion and not enough about choice?
Oh, for sure. I think just like every political party has the opportunity to ruin a gift that's been given to them. So I do think that Republicans run that risk of making this very much about sort of indoctrination in schools or whatever. But I think that for the majority of parents, what they're looking for, like I said, even parents who aren't particularly religious, they're just looking for a classical education that's free from culture. So my advice to anybody who would take it on the side of the Republicans is let's provide that education.
Well, it is becoming a number one issue, as you rightly point out. May, thank you very much. Certainly a case that has a lot more implications, perhaps, for all Americans than the abortion case coming up. We'll see you soon. We appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.